This is Louise for MMA Crazy TV, and we're here with Andy Ogle. Andy, how does it feel to be back and to be in Europe's biggest card?
It's great to be on Europe's biggest card with people like Gustafsson, Anthony Johnson, and Dan Henderson. They're like great fighters and people that I've really looked up to and have such high regard for. So it's great to be on the card with them.
You're facing newcomer Amirkhani. What do you think of him as an opponent for you?
It's a good fight. It's a tough fight. He's from Finland. He's like kind of got the home advantage. He came here from Sacramento, so I look forward to the challenge.
And how have you been preparing for him?
I've been preparing in all aspects. It's mixed martial arts. It's not cage fighting. It's not boxing. It's not jiu-jitsu. It's mixed martial arts, and you need to be prepared for wherever it goes.
And you made the move to Team Alpha Male, didn't you?
Yeah, last couple of fights I lost, but I lost them by a hair. I lost some very close fights, and but whether you lose by a mile or just an inch, you still lose. And I feel like this is what I had to do to get that extra inch and get that W, and hopefully it pays off on Saturday.
How have you been settling into the team?
It's been great. They're more like a family than an actual team. There's a lot of people supporting each other, and the moment I got a bout, the date of bout, they were straight behind me and helped me. I'd been helping TJ for his fight, Danny Castillo for two of his fights, Faber and everyone, been helping Feely, and I was so glad that I got my date, and they said, right, you've helped us for ours, now it's your turn.
You said recently about head trauma, and you didn't want to take too many blows to the head in sparring. What kind of prompted that, and what have you changed now?
There's a UFC fighter, current UFC fighter, Chris Holtzworth, talked about he's had SIS, secondary impact syndrome, from taking repetitive strain on the brain. And people like Martin Campman, he asked me, he said, how long have you been training non-stop? And I went, well, I've been training all these guys for the fight. So I trained six different fights for people. I didn't even have a fight. And he went, you've taken too much trauma to the brain. I went, well, I don't think I have. And he said, well, I've got a fight contract for 3 more fights, and it's good pay, and I can't fulfill my contract. He went, you got to look after your brain. I feel like it's very under-talked and brushed under the carpet kind of thing, and it needs to be highlighted more. This is a sport, but at the end of the sport, I've got to live my life. So I've got to be intelligent now. I've got to start being more intelligent with my life. And, you know, if you see a nick on your hand, you know there's a nick on your hand. You don't know if there's a nick on your brain. You know, like, you don't know the long-term effects of brain trauma. So embracing the grind, nah, I'd rather be clever. I'm going to start being clever now.
Is this something that you would like to maybe embrace and shout about and try and create more awareness about?
Certainly. It's something that people need to talk more about. People are talking more about weight cutting, right? But they're not talking about hitting it hard in the gym and embracing the grind. We're fighters, so we're meant to be fighting. Yeah, well, no. Like, you've got 3 5s that you've got to do in a cage. You do 3 5s as hard as you can do 1 day of the week. Maybe 4, maybe 5. If you've got a title fight, you can get that cardio by hitting pads. You can get that cardio by doing hill sprints. You don't need to get that cardio from anything else. You get your technique from doing training and repetitive drilling. I know I've got a heart of steel. Maximo Blanco kicked me in the lips, and I don't remember the first round. I know I've got a heart of steel. That's never going to be in question. You know, like, so all I need is cardio and to get my feet under me when I'm doing my live rounds. That's it. People do rounds until they're dead.
And how are you feeling going into this fight physically?
What will be, will be. I've trained so hard for fights, and then shit's happened. Like, pardon my language, things have happened leading up to the fight, and things have went apart. You know, MMA, you can prepare as much as you want, but if something happens, there's variables that we can't control. And I've got a destiny, and I believe that whatever's going to happen is going to happen regardless. And I know I have a choice and that destiny, and I can try to manipulate the outcome, but I've trained as hard as I can train. I'm not going to stress. What will happen will happen.
So how do you envision the fight happening on Saturday?
With my hand raised victoriously, and I don't want it any other way. I've trained too hard, I've worked too hard for this, and he's in my way. He's obviously a young guy and he's wanting the same as me, but unfortunately I wanted that little bit more, and if everything goes right, then I'm going to be victorious, and I can't wait. I've had a little bit of a run of bad luck, but you know, that's no excuses. Everything was a stepping stone until this point. I believe that I've been the nail and I've also been the hammer. I don't believe this kid's been the nail before, and I intend to be the hammer.
Thank you so much for your interview. We look forward to seeing that on Saturday.
Thank you.